In this lesson, we'll look at a few images that inspired the architectural concept and the theme. So let's have a look first of all at the theme of the project, and it is nature versus man. Now here we have a very typical relationship that we believe that we have with nature, is that man is on top and nature simply falls down below it and is controlled by us. Even the image of the woman is below the man because he believes that his ego is above everybody else. But the real thing that I want to express with this project is that the relationship here is completely false, simply because man needs all of these objects, all of these parts of nature, but nature doesn't need man. So in other words, we should theoretically be right at the bottom because we are the last ones to really be codependent with nature in this circle of harmony. So on the right hand side, we have the idea of how nature should be. Women should be positioned above the man because I guess she gives birth to the offspring and she's therefore more important. And we should really be working in this symbiotic codependent harmony in the ideal world. So this was just a nice diagram just to get thinking about the relationship between man and nature. The other images that really sparked some inspiration, some concept ideas, were the ideas of nature and architecture merging into one, or at least nature and humans merging into one as well. Really understanding that nature, buildings, us, we're all really part of the same thing, and we basically all live together in this harmony, how we basically interweave amongst each other. And I think that these images really start to give you some very nice conceptual ideas that hopefully start sparking in your mind. Now, a little bit of a gloomy image, but between nature and man, we always find that nature is the more perseverant one of the two. In other words, you can have a desert without any water, you can have scorching heat, and then somehow, some way, nature will still find a way to survive and push through. But man himself is much more fragile, and we don't seem to take this into account, that if we had to bring the planet to a point of absolute destruction, we would be the ones wiping ourselves first, and nature would be the one surviving. Again, nature doesn't need us, but we need nature, and people just don't get this. So I think that having an expo to represent this would be a very interesting theme that we can definitely play around. So the design inspiration, these images are going to be a little bit more fun to look at. These three were quite interesting to me because of the duality between the rigid, square-looking building and then the very organic screen elements that come on top of it. So here as well, we have the core of the building being this hard concrete with these more natural woven screens that move around it. So also some nice inspiration there. And then the inspiration for the rendering, we're going to do something a little bit different in this course by not trying to do photoreal renders of the real world, but rather photoreal renders of a model mock-up. So we're going to be simplifying our material palette. Our lighting is going to be more of a studio lighting instead of an outdoor lighting. And we're not going to look at realistic people or trees or anything. We want to get this look to make it look like a design or architectural competition entry, just as if we had built a model and taken photos of it. So that is it. I've just wrapped up some of the initial sort of sparks of thoughts that I'm putting into this project so far. In the next lesson, we will start to model up the bare bones of our site. So we'll have a look at the riverbank. We'll have a look at the actual plans, or at least the Google images of what the site looks like. And then we're going to, in the next lesson after that, start to model up the actual site itself so that we have a platform to build upon, and then we can start to experiment with our form making and our idea generation. So all of that is coming up. It's going to be quite exciting. We're going to have a lot of fun with the shape, with the architecture, and we're going to move quite quickly through a whole bunch of different forms. So we're going to arrive at quite a good result in the end. So hang on for that. It's all coming up.